You on the ride with Brace, so let's have a discussion. Come along for the ride, and I'm gonna teach you how to hustle. Your life is not a game, and I feel like a lot of times people get me misconstrued on these videos when I say, "Oh, I work 80 hours a week," right? Or I work 12-hour shifts. I see a lot of people having a lot to say about it, and I'm surprised because where I'm from, this is like a common thing to do, to work 12 hours. Like, my stepmom worked 12 hours. My dad works 12 hours. My grandfather worked 12 hours. My mom worked 12 hours. Like, my brother worked 12 hours. Like, I am from a place where there's not much opportunity. Our college doesn't have very much besides its nursing course. Like, the nursing course is pretty much the biggest thing my college has in my hometown. And, like, job-wise, literally, like, last year, a bunch of employees at one of those warehouses that work 12 hours lost their job because it shut down. People have been working there 20 years. Like, my stepmom was making $100,000 plus a year as a supervisor at IP, an international paper, right? She was a supervisor. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they decided, hey, this plant that we have in Campty is not making enough money. So guess what? We're about to shut it down. And so many people, including my stepmom, lost their income just like that. My stepmom literally has to work 2 jobs now, all because what one manager decided to do. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, is what to do with your income so that way you can protect yourself from a situation like that. Basically, my stepmom was there for 20 years. Making $100,000 a year, right? Taking flights to different meetings and stuff like that as a supervisor. Like, she was one of the real head honchos at this place for a long time. And this is no shade to my stepmom. Love my stepmom, right? But all I'm gonna say is, imagine if every single check she had invested it into, like, going to do something better with her life, like saving up for school, saving up, you know what I'm saying, to set herself up to go do something different. But I feel like, you know, sometimes people can get comfortable with what they know, and it's just like, well, there's no point in me preparing for the worst because the worst will never come, right? And I kind of bulletproofed myself with my CDL because, as you can see, I'm driving an 18-wheeler, right? And it's like, even if one trucking company goes out of business, I can always go find another trucking company. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is what I'm talking about. Education, right? Getting a skill. And other YouTubers talk about getting skills, but I'm talking about skills that, you know, I actually have seen people do, or I have done myself, or I know people who have done it. Like, I'm not telling you to become a digital marketer because I don't know too much about it, other than starting a YouTube channel, which is something you should do, but that's a whole nother video by itself. But stuff like getting your CDL, or learning how to cut hair, or becoming a dental assistant, or becoming a dental hygienist, or becoming a nurse. My stepmom, when she lost her job, she went to school to learn how to get a certificate to be one of those people who clean the surgery instruments in the hospital. That's what she's doing now. And I think she's also in school to be a nurse as well at the same time as she's working at the hospital. So what she's doing now with getting her education is what I'm telling you guys to go ahead and do ahead of time before a situation comes up in life like the one that she's going through, right? So that's where I want to start off at. Number 2 is, when you start this, I want you to actually go work hard. Like, actually do your big one, and don't half put in effort, because if you halfway put in effort towards your future, then you're going to get halfway results. And what I mean by that is, look, when I was in CDL school, for example, there's people who I saw who were literally in CDL school for 8 months, because there's certain ways you can do CDL school. You can do it for months and really take your time with it, or you can do it in 1 month and put the fire under your butt. Like, dang, I got to learn all these parts on this truck. I got to learn this pre-trip word for word, because I'm going to have to recite it and put my hand on every single part of this truck. And then I'm going to have to actually learn how to drive the truck. You can do that in 3 weeks, so you're forcing yourself to actually pay attention, or you can like sign up for an 8-week program, 8-month program, or whatever, and basically give yourself enough room to procrastinate to the point where you never actually achieve the goal that you're trying to achieve. You get what I'm talking about? There's a lot of people who I used to see slacking off, joking, but in my class, the 1-month course, there was no joking, slacking off, or none of that. I literally knew how to drive that truck within 3 weeks of being there. My last week of CDL school, I didn't even practice. I didn't practice my pre-trip anymore. I didn't practice how to drive the truck anymore. I knew how to do it within 3 weeks. And there's people who'd been there for months and still didn't know how to do it as good as I did. I actually had one of the instructors bragging on me. They said, look, if everybody came here and did what he does, then this school would have a lot more graduates. And that's not me like bragging or anything, but it's just like, I'm not the type of person that's going to risk my livelihood without putting in the effort. And at the end of the day, you're doing this for yourself. Like, you owe this to yourself. Ain't nobody coming to save you in this life. Ain't nobody coming to pay your bills for you if you like me. I mean, you got some people who are blessed to have daddy's money, and that's fine. I don't hate on nobody that parents took care of them to the point where they don't have to work. Like, that's a blessing. Why would I hate on that? But it's just like, in most situations, that's not going to be the case. And if you're watching this video, if you made it this far, I'm pretty sure that's not the case for you. So go hard, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're young, but even more so if you're older. Like, if you're in your 30s, it's really crunch time, because you got about 10 more. I ain't gonna lie, I want to be retired at 40. If you want to retire at 50, 60, still, you know what I'm saying, as long as you're satisfied, I ain't got no problem with it. But it's like, do you really want to work for 30, 40 years? 12-hour shifts? Do you really want to do that? I mean, I don't. I'm 25. Wait, I ain't even 25. I'm 24, right? I'm 24 years old. I've been working 12-hour shifts for like 3 years now. So at this point, it's like, no, actually, I've been working 12-hour shifts for more than 3 years. I've been working 12-hour shifts since I was like 19, and I'm 24. So yeah, 5 years I've been working 12-hour shifts. So I want you to think about it. By the time I'm 29, that'll be 10 years of me working 12-hour shifts if I don't find a way to escape. I'm already doing YouTube. I've been doing this consistently for the past month. For the past year, I've been doing this pretty consistently, on and off. But overall, I've been actually uploading to this channel. Not only that, I have a side hustle that I do after work, and then I also have a 12-hour shift job. Like, I'm working on having at least 3 streams of income, and then I want to diversify into like other investments with the funds that I do gain, right? I'm a real hustler at the end of the day, but at the same time, I really do have a lazy mindset. Like, I'm a lazy hustler. I want to do stuff that's gonna make me money while I sleep. I'm only doing this because it's easy. Like, bro, my job, I use a remote for my job. I don't have to pick up on anything. I don't have to push on anything. Like, I don't even bust a sweat at work. Literally, I don't. I'm sitting here in this truck and I'm chilling. Like, I'm drinking water. I'm chilling, man. So that's what I want you guys to do in life. I want you to first start off wherever you got to start off. I started off working at Taco Bell, my guy. Now I'm driving an 18-wheeler making $100,000 a year. And neither one of my parents have ever made $100,000 a year, or graduated college for that matter. I'm literally doing better than my immediate family ever did, in front of me at least. So I ain't got too much else to say. I ain't gonna yap y'all ears off. I just want to come on here and encourage y'all to actually do something with your life. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're older, you know what I'm saying? Don't work until you're 60. Please don't do it. You'll regret it. My grandfather worked up until his 60s and 70s, and I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of emotional about me thinking about it, because it's like he ended up with dementia. He couldn't even walk anymore by himself. He had to use a cane. Not even a cane, like the actual walker that you got to hold on to with both hands. His back was hunched over, so he was like, he couldn't even stand up straight all the way. He was weak. You know what I'm saying? And this man, I kid you not, he worked 12-hour shifts, but he had to literally do this from the time he was in 8th grade. He had to literally drop out of school because his dad died. and he had a mom and sister to take care of. So he dropped out before even getting a full education. He dropped out in 8th grade, bro. And he didn't have the greatest education, but let me tell you something. He bought 2 houses. He paid off 2 houses. He actually bought my brother his first car. He bought his his lady friend later on in life a paid off car. He bought a car for me. You know what I'm saying? And he left behind an inheritance for all of his children and his grandchildren without even having a high school education. But at the end of his life, working those 12-hour shifts took a toll on him to the point where he couldn't do for himself. And that's the rat race that we have to do our best to escape. So that's motivation for me, and I hope that is motivation for you. Shout out to my granddad for always putting his family first no matter what. I appreciate him, and I appreciate all y'all for the love and support. Without further ado, we gone.